Welcome back to our build series here at Method Vans. Today we want to highlight our interior core bracing kit. Now, when you upfit a van, it's important to find a way that you can attach securely all of your cabinets, your wall panels, any of those fixtures that you're actually physically attaching to the interior walls of the van. And using the sheet metal can work. However, there are obviously lots of penetrations and holes and divots and things like that inside the van. So it becomes challenging when you're trying to attach things to it. So what we've designed, and it's available on our website exclusively for the 170 chassis, is what we call our interior core bracing kit. And this interior core bracing kit is made out of 16 gauge galvanized steel. And I'll give you a kind of a close up of that here shortly. The galvanized steel panel kit or core bracing kit is 24 pieces or 24 items that get riveted to the structure of the van. Everything in the kit is pre-drilled. So all of the holes, the 3/16 holes, are pre-drilled in the galvanized steel, and the steel's pretty strong and pretty hard to drill. So having them pre-drilled is a really good advantage. Drilling the sheet metal in the van seems to go quite simply. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the installation, although that's not the focus. I want to just highlight more what the end product looks like. So you get about 24 pieces of these galvanized panels, 16 gauge, so very heavyweight. It takes about 200 rivets, so you get 200 3/16 stainless steel rivets that are the right grip for the application that we're doing. Highly recommended pneumatic rivets setter to do a job like this. Doing this by hand would be time consuming and painful. And pneumatic rivet setters are not that expensive. So I would get yourself one, and it's a good investment. I do want to highlight kind of what makes our kit kind of unique and special. And there's lots of kits on the market, and we feel like ours is fantastic, and we've continued to develop it, make small improvements along the way, and try to really refine it to the best of our ability. So I'll grab the camera here, and I'll just take you through a little bit of a peek of what we're looking at. So here is kind of a close-up view of some of these panels. In this case, panel number 3, panel number 9. So a couple things you'll first of all notice. They're all engraved, or in this case, fully cut out with their number, so you know exactly what they are. You get a full blueprint drawing, so you know where everything goes. And other things you'll see is they are self-aligning. So you'll see how those two index together. So kind of like a Lego piece, they're meant to jigsaw together or index together like a puzzle. They are very strong because they have like a return lip on the top, giving it extra strength. You're seeing our rivets there, our stainless steel rivets. And then, up here, for example, you'll see how there's a cutout, and there's a cutout because of the kind of downward part of the upper roof truss. And so if we come here to the forward one, this is piece number 1, kind of where we start. You'll see we also have a self-centering mark, and you're going to want to put these up and clamp them up to start. Make sure everything's kind of laid out before you start drilling. But this will help you to center it. Now, I mean, it's not perfectly centered on that one. This one is a little bit off as well. But what we do find is that these roof trusses are not bang on perfectly consistent from van to van. This is a year 25. So, you use it with a grain of salt, although it is going to help you. And once you start one, then you will have them self-aligning through our puzzling pieces or through these self-alignment pieces. You'll also notice at the top we have a return lip up here, and that return lip will incorporate back in behind here. Wait, let's see that maybe back. Yeah, there it is. Back in behind there, you'll see the factory harness, and so you don't have to touch the factory harness. It's all laced right in behind there, really quite nicely. This gives you a nice curvature to the roof. So as we come up and we curve over and we're going to hit this other roof panel. So I'll give you kind of a view of these long ones on the roof. And these are giving us, like I said, positioning for all of our wall panels. So we use riv nuts to put in all of our wall panels. And then all of our cabinets, you'll see this would give us now our structure for our cabinet to kind of lace along here. And then all of our lower cabinets will have, again, a position to attach here. And, you know, this kit comes with pre-cut out boxes, electrical boxes, so 120 volt boxes. In this design or layout, we're using the most forward one for a galley plug. We do have this one in here for some clients that choose to want to have either two or have one more rearward. On this side, we do just one kind of in the center. It seems to be getting too close to the door on this side, so this seems to be the best position for that one. And the boxes fit perfectly, and actually where it is, it's hitting right against the back of the sheet metal, and everything's nice and secure. So when we're plugging our plugs in and out, we're not getting any slop there. Again, the lower ones giving us structure for our lower cabinets. On the front side here, behind the driver's seat, you'll see we have a 120 volt plug, as well as an option for 3 positions for 12 volts. So these are intended for the scan strut USB outlets. You could put in 1 or 3, depending on your choice. You'll see that these are all laser etched, and you get a template. And so what you can do is you can transpose this onto your wall panels, and therefore you have all of these holes perfectly positioned in your wall panel to align with these, and then everything is ready to install. Now, if this is going to be our 12 volt, we have little holes here for little rivet nuts that can go in there. These are larger rivet nuts. These are M8s. I think these are M3s. This is for the lagoon table. So this is for the narrow sliver style lagoon bracket. And we're incredibly strong here with what we have happening, so that lagoon table is not going to have any sort of play there. And as we come to the back towards the bedroom, what we do in the bedroom on the driver's side, we have a couple options. We have an option if you're going to end up sleeping sideways, which we don't do on our floor plans, but we've made this universal for you in case you do choose to sleep sideways or from east-west. And therefore, each person laying, say, here, and then a second person laying over here, they would have their bedroom light and their USB. This person would have their bedroom light and their USB. Now, if you choose to sleep north-south, which is how we design our floor plans, then we utilize the rearward one. So for the USB and the light on the driver's side, and then over here, the USB and the light on the passenger side. And again, these are positioned appropriately so that we have a nice deep cavity in behind for the thickness of the plug. For the USB particularly, the light doesn't have any thickness. And again, we just put in small rivet nuts. Everything is perfect. Again, you get a template so that you can transpose these measurements directly onto your wall panel. And we can supply you with the USBs as well as the lights that are perfect for these holes, as an add-on to the kit, if that's what you would like. So, there's a lot of these things that have been thought through that make this kind of a really great product. And everybody needs some version of this when you're building your van. Put the camera down here for a second and just talk about the installation. So what we typically do is we'll put up the panel. I'll clamp it to start. I'll get everything kind of positioned how I like it. Not obviously all the panels, but say I'm doing this top row. I'll start with this one. I'll get it clamped. I'll index these together. I'll clamp this, get it all laid out how I like it. And then what I do is I drill a hole. We already have the holes drilled in the galvanized. So I'll drill a hole into the sheet metal. I'll deburr it, I'll paint it. So you see like there's this, black everywhere, and that's because we've put on a rust proofing paint. And I'll set a rivet. And then once I set one here, I'll make sure everything's kind of stayed aligned. Then I'll set one kind of here, maybe one more in the other one, or a couple more in the other ones. And then once I get it kind of all set, then I can take the clamps down, and then I can go crazy and just start drilling all the holes. With the kit, we give you a drill bit, so a 3/16 drill bit. Usually one new good drill bit gets you through the entire kit. As well, we give you what is called a spacer tube, so you put it on the drill bit. So when you're drilling, there's not a chance that you might drill through too far and maybe into the exterior sheet metal. It's unlikely, but it can happen. And this way you can push hard, and you can let it go, and not be concerned about jumping through and hitting your metal. So you get the drill tube, you get the drill bit, you get the rivets, and you get the kit, and then you get an architectural drawing that shows you exactly where everything goes, how to position everything, etc., like that. So one other thing I'm going to show you that makes, again, our kit a bit different is above the slider door. So above the slider door is actually two pieces. And what you'll see here is we incorporate the, this is the half stop door cover. And then, this panel is mimicking the angle. Sorry, the light's a little bit bright there. The angle is continually running from the side ones over through this above the sliding door. And so when our roof panel comes in, it'll just kind of roll right off of there onto this, arch around, and then come over. And the benefit of having a kit like this is by not furring anything down, we are simply only gaining the thickness of a 16 gauge metal in terms of what we're losing for height, which is virtually nothing. If you frame anything down, as I mentioned in other videos, you start to, lose, or you start to, get your height restricted so that your head space becomes problematic. And as I mentioned before, we have a full 6'3". So from floor to the middle of the roof, we have a full 6'3". And so again, this piece is a little bit complicated of a piece. It's two pieces, but again, you get a very, very detailed diagram of how to install this. And so you do the inner piece first, and then the outer piece kind of goes on to the inner piece. We're only using factory attachment points here, so we use the nuts that are already in this part of the door. And then everything is like, rock solid here. There's no flex or anything like that. So it works exceptionally well. So that gives you a quick view of what our interior core bracing kit looks like, how it functions. Like, as I mentioned, it's available on our website. It's a spectacular part of a DIY build. It will really expedite your process into finishing up your van. And as I mentioned, giving you lots of opportunity to attach all of your wall panels, all of your cabinetry, and even things, like I said, electrical, 120 volt, 12 volt, exterior lighting, and even into the lagoon table. So I think it's a great product. Check it out on our website. If you have any questions, hit us up. We're happy to give you some assistance. And thanks again for joining our build series, and stay tuned for our next video. Cheers.